Hi guys. I wanted to give you a little tour of my garden. Just kind of give you an update, but look how smoky it is. I don't know if the camera can pick it up real well, but it is just horribly smoky. So I can't spend a whole lot of time outside. So let me give you a tour of the garden real quick and let you know what's going on. Okay, we'll start out here on the outside part of the garden. Um, Everything's a little overgrown. Sorry about that, but I just haven't been able to keep up with it like I want. Um, this is a little planter. It has a grapevine in it. And maybe you can see it down there. This little guy right here. That's as much as he's grown this year. I don't think that grapevine, it's still alive, but it's not going to make it, I don't think. This is watermelon, believe it or not. And I actually have a couple started. And it's really weird because the vine is only like maybe 3 feet long. But I got a couple of watermelon on it. It's really weird. It just did not take off like I would think it would. Sorry about the messy area, but I just have not been able to get out here and do what I want to do. So sorry about that. These are some little trees that I'm growing. They're little elm trees that are going to be planted on my property, but they're just chilling right here for right now. My calendula I was very pleased with. They really took off. I didn't realize they were going to be this tall, but I'm very happy with that because I use that in my herbal medicines. So I'm going to be harvesting a lot of that and drying it in my dehydrator. And this is my grapevine right along here. Got my 2 garden buddy dogs here with me. They make sure I don't step on any snakes or anything. But this grapevine, I'm pleased to see it growing, but this is as big as it has gotten. And there's quite a bit of foliage down in here yet that you can see. And you always want to be careful. As Susie can tell you in Our Life Out West on her channel, she has been rattlesnake bit because when you have thick foliage like this, you can reach down in here. The snakes like to hide in there because it's cool. So you always have to be careful when you're reaching your hand in your plants. But hopefully this grapevine, this is the most it's grown. I've had it for about 3 years. So I have hopes for it, but it's not being really growing like I wish it would. But at least it's made some progress this year. Maybe next year. This is my corn patch. None of the corn got very big, as far as being tall. It looks healthy, but it's short. But as you can see, it is making corn. You can see down in there. I don't know how good this corn is going to be, but I'm going to wait and see. Maybe I'll get a little bit out of it, I hope. But the corn looks healthy. It just didn't get very tall. And I don't know why. I'm surprised any of it lived with all the dirt and sandstorms we've had and the high winds. I'm just lucky that it grew at all, that I'm actually getting some corn, I think. I'm going to get some corn out of this, I hope. At least a little bit. This was, along this track right here, was where I had peas. Every one of the peas died, and I got maybe a handful of pea pods. So I've put, I think I still have time for green beans, so I have replanted this bed with green beans, and we'll see how that works. Gotta step over dogs. This back here is zucchini. I'm about ready to pull it up. It has not bloomed at all, and I have fought squash bugs constantly on these plants, and I think they have ruined them. I don't think they're any good. So I hate pulling up any plants, but I don't think they're going to go. I think they're done. It's been months and they're not producing anything, so I think it's hopeless. It's time to give it up. And my cucumbers, I planted a couple of green beans in here. These are my cucumber plants, and as you can see, let's see if I can zoom in here. There we go. See, I'm getting little bees and things in there. They flower like crazy. This is as tall as they've gotten, and they've been here for a couple of months. That's pretty sad. They're just not growing. It's like they're still alive. They're still blooming. I haven't gotten one cucumber, not one cucumber off of any of this. They constantly flower, but there's no veggie, nothing. They don't fruit. And the bees are pollinating it. There's bees all over my garden. So I know they're getting pollinated, but I don't know what's happening. They're just not, nothing is growing. Except, now this is echinacea. I started it from seed. It's hanging in there and doing well. It's growing slow, but it's doing very well. This is my chicory. And the chicory is coming along very nicely. It's growing quite well. I won't be able to harvest any of this for quite some time, probably not until next year. But these are perennial and they do come up every year. So I'm going to let these grow for a year or two so that I get some nice long chicory root, and I use it for my chicory coffee. And same thing over here. I have, you can see it, I think you can see it on the camera. It's coming up. This is also chicory. And I'm just going to let it grow for a couple years. And this is my spearmint. I'm going to harvest this very soon. My dehydrator is full of basil and parsley at the moment. But I am going to harvest this in probably tomorrow and make some spearmint tea with this. And it makes really good, strong spearmint tea. Very, very good. Love it. So it's growing quite well. And as you can see, I have bees buzzing all around this as well. So I have plenty of pollinators. And this has got bees in it as well. But this is my lemon balm, and it has taken off very well. It's got a nice rich color to it, and that will be harvested soon as well to make my lemon balm tea. This was supposed to be the chamomile bed for chamomile tea. I planted it 3 times. I don't know if the birds are getting it, but this is the only little chamomile plant that I was able to get to grow. And this is my oregano, which I can harvest very soon. It's doing very well, so all the herbs are doing quite well. It's the other veggies that I'm having difficulty with, but this is oregano. And this is going to be peppermint. If I'm lucky and it comes up, I planted it from seed. And there's my Bocce. Bocce. There's my little Bocce dog. He's always checking everything out. My chickens must be laying eggs. You can hear them in the background. Sugar, quit that. There's my other garden dog, Sugar. And this is supposed to be yarrow, and I'm very happy. You can see it coming up right there. Got little plants coming up. Hopefully they'll take off well, because I wanted some yarrow. The first year I've tried growing it, I wasn't sure if the climate would be too harsh for the yarrow, but it's coming up, so we'll see. And this is some more echinacea that I planted, and it's also planted from seed, and it's also coming up. So the herb garden is doing very well. The rest of the garden, not so good. So I don't know, and then with the smoke and everything, it's really been difficult. This has been a harsh year, not pleasant at all. I have installed fans, one on each side of on each end of the greenhouse to help, and I've turned the fans around backwards and secured them in there. I don't have them on right now. They were just turning because of the wind blowing through them. But they're turned around backwards to suck the hot air out of the greenhouse and blow it to the outside. And I have one on each end, like I said. And then I have a fan inside that just stirs the air around. And it did help. It really helped with the heat. So, but it needs to be weeded and cut down. I wish my vegetables would grow as well as the weeds do. That would be great. And here's my raspberry. That it's growing just fine. Not one single bloom or not one single raspberry. So I'm very disappointed, but it made a nice bush. This is my blackberry bush. It didn't get big, it didn't grow huge, but it did bloom, and I am getting some blackberries. See, nice little bloom. Here's some more blackberries. So I'm going to get some fruit off of it this year. So I'm happy about that, and it does look like it has some new growth coming up, which is a good sign. So at least it's doing something. And see, I have some here. My blueberries have grown a little bit. I got them when they were really small. They've grown a little bit, but there's no berries, no blooms, nothing. They're just there. So I don't know. I don't know. These are also a variety of blueberry, and this is as much as they ever grow. I've had them for 2 years, and this is it. I don't know if it's the heat or the harsh environment. I just don't know, but they're not growing. So let's open the greenhouse. Watch out, Shug. Watch out, Sugar. Hold on just a second. Okay, so let's go in the greenhouse. I finally got the door open. And here's my other fan that I put in here. This is the other end of the greenhouse. I'll turn those on in a minute. It's getting really windy outside. These are my green bean plants. I'm getting a whole lot of flowering. The plants don't look so good. I don't know what's doing this. I did have a lot of spider mites, and I have sprayed the plants. I don't know if the spider mites did the damage, because look at this. I don't know if the spider mites did the damage, or if the spray that I put on them, if I sprayed them at the wrong time of the day and they burned, I'm not sure. But some of the plants in here look really good though, like this guy. He's really coming along good. And I've planted some new beans because I understand I still have time. And there's some coming up right here. Little green beans popping up. Yep, there's one right there. So hopefully the new beans will do better. My cabbage is doing just fine. It's a little slow, but cabbage is slow. And but it's coming along really well. I did have a problem with cabbage worms, but I have sprayed them and they did very well. The worms have disappeared, thank goodness. And so I'm keeping an eye on that, but I think I might get cabbage. My carrots, they're a little beat down because of where I've watered, but my carrots seem to be doing pretty good. I've got 2 bins of them right here. I actually have 4 bins altogether. I have 2 in the back. These are my kidney beans. And here again, well, you can see I'm getting quite a bit of beans in here, so I'm happy about that. Very happy. But then here again, you have the leaves that are looking like this. I may have sprayed them at a wrong time and burnt them. They were partly burnt. Oh, look at all these beans right here. This is cool. Because I did put a sunshade up in the greenhouse because it was too hot and it was burning everything. And then I did spray these during the day, which was a big mistake. I should have sprayed them at night. Look at the beans hanging off though. I'm very happy about that. Hopefully I'll get a bunch of beans off of this. Oh, look in here. Even though the leaves are dying, the beans are still growing, which I'm thrilled about that. This is a bell pepper that's been there for months. No flowers, no nothing. Just sitting there doing nothing. And these poor things really went through the mill because there's Brussels sprouts and broccoli mixed in here together. But some bugs did get to them. I have sprayed them, and believe it or not, they do look a lot better than they did, because I did get rid of the bugs for now. But you can see they've pretty much been chewed on. But they are looking better than they were. These are bell peppers again that have done nothing. This is the way they are for a couple of months. No flowering, no fruit, no nothing. They're just sitting there. And the same thing with these guys. Those are bell peppers as well that are doing nothing. They're still alive and they look okay, but they're not doing anything. This is parsley. I have to clean some of the dead out of it. I just harvested the parsley, and I just harvested a whole bunch of basil. So that's why these guys look kind of short. This is like the 3rd harvest I've gotten off of these plants. So at least I'm getting something. Oops, sorry, Bocce. You guys can't be under my feet. I'll step on you. Be careful. Yeah, you, pretty girl. I've replanted my, just recently replanted my spinach because now they're under the sunshade and they won't scorch like the first bunch did. It was too hot in here. And you can see they're coming up already. It's only been a couple of days. But I planted 2 beds because I use a lot of spinach. but they're under the sunshade, and hopefully they'll be fine. The first bunch got totally burnt, and they bolted like just within a couple of weeks. It was just useless. I didn't get any spinach. And this is what's left of my strawberries that did not get totally fried. I'm hoping to start a new bed of spinach from these plants here, but that's going to have to be till next year. This year it's done. This is my onions. What's left of them, I had a full bed of onions, and they did not do well. This is all that's left, but at least I'll get a few. So this has not been a very kind, and see the floor? This is disgusting. I sweep this out, but we have gotten so many dust and sandstorms this year that I cannot keep the greenhouse clean. It blows in everywhere. And being that I have the fans up, it blows in through the fans, and it's impossible. But at least, hopefully, I'm going to get something out of my crops this year. And this over here is some more carrots. More carrots. They're a little beat down because I watered them and the water pushed the tops down. This I am thrilled about. This is a banana, a dwarf banana. And I had given up on it. It was sitting closer to the edge over there in the brighter sun. And I had given up on it because it died. All the leaves fell off. It was just a stick and it looked horrible. So I was going to pull it up and throw it out. I'm glad I didn't. Because look, it has decided to come back to life. It's growing. See, I'm getting new leaves. So I am excited, and it doesn't look bad at all. It looks happy. So whatever is making it happy right there in that spot where it is, I am not moving it. It's staying right there. This is my poor peach tree. You can see it's gotten scorched on the top from the sun. I need to move it. If you hear a lot of noise, I hear a dust devil coming. So it might get a little noisy in here because of the plastic. And there's my fan, but these are my tomato plants. They did not do well. I've gotten one tomato off of this first one here. But my tomatoes did not fare well this year, but I'm not too concerned. I still have a freezer full of tomatoes. So that's okay. That's okay. Whatever they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. It's okay. So anyway, that's my garden tour today, guys. And at least I'm getting something out of my garden. So that makes me happy, considering the harsh environment we've had to endure this summer. I'm just happy to have gotten this much. So thank you for watching. And oh, by the way, the Bocking 14 plants, I bought 6 of them. And I planted them under my trees that I have out on the property. I guess it's too hot for them because every single one of them died. So I have no Bocking 14 plants whatsoever, which was a very big disappointment. Here's my garden doggie. She's investigating everything. I don't worry too much about snakes with these guys. Shuggy, come on. Because they're pretty good about finding snakes and catching them. But the Bocking 14 did not work out. So I guess in the desert it's too hot for them. I kept them watered hoping they would take, but evidently not. So thanks for watching, guys, and that's my garden update. Some success, this year, so I'm going to take it as a win. I'm getting some beans, I'm getting some things, so at least it's something considering the weather we've had to endure. So I'm going to consider it a win this year. And if I get something, I'll be happy. So you guys have a good day, good night, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.